I know you're probably wondering, where did this come from? Why are we making a change at quarterback? Let me break it down for you. Yesterday, for the first time in nearly 600 days, I streamed here to the second channel the Jaguars franchise preseason games. I thought this would be a fun way to try out the changes I made to our playbook and game plan for this year, along with just hanging out and talking about the series. Going into these games, I had no intention of making any sort of change, but I wanted to see how would we look in a more aggressive, attacking offense that wants to get downfield more. Early in preseason game number 1, starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence gets intercepted by Deron Bland. The starters didn't do anything special in this first game, but then we get to the backups. And Chuck Johnson throws a laser downfield to Heath Tuck, a receiver I picked up in the offseason. And then Johnson threads one to the wide receiver / tight end hybrid Joe Wilder, 5th round rookie. This is a really impressive throw by Chuck Johnson. He gets off to a very strong start in this first preseason game. However, he was far from finished. Here we have 25 seconds to go in the first half at our 26. Johnson's scramble into Dallas territory gives us a chance to actually add points before the half. He sets up the field goal try perfectly on this pass to rookie running back CJ Merriweather, and we get 3 points on the board in impressive fashion. So what else could Chuck Johnson do in this game? Well, trailing by 11, 3.5 minutes to go. Johnson hits the pass downfield to Heath Tuck. Cowboys do kind of blow the coverage there, but it's a perfect pass. It's a one-score game. We get the football back under 2 minutes to go. Diving grab by 7th rounder Julian Singh. And Johnson continues to scramble when Dallas gives him the opportunity. Underneath, this is Joe Wilder up the sideline into the end zone as the Jaguars pull off a 2-score comeback with under 3.5 minutes to play, and they leave time to spare. Now this would be an awesome finish. Dallas hits a pass at the 15, taken inside the 5 and nearly scoring. Now they're out of timeout, so they have 1 play remaining. We knock it down, and the Jaguars win a preseason thriller. Charles Omenihu, free agent edition, knocked the pass down. But the story of this game was Chuck Johnson and the way he played throughout. I was very impressed. I wanted to see more. And then I decided to check out this press conference storyline. What could this possibly be? Well, suddenly, there are questions about if we should be having a quarterback position battle. Chuck Johnson playing a phenomenal preseason game spawned this scenario, it seems. And there was a comment during the stream that maybe Eli Arrington fed the reporter this question. He wasn't happy about the quarterback situation in the last episode. So I answered saying the quarterback rating would be the deciding factor. From there, I wanted to see if Trevor Lawrence could come back and play well, or if Chuck Johnson's play would be a fluke. Here in preseason week number 2, we have Brian Thomas Jr. making a catch, and Lawrence is going to find him here on this play as well. He will do the rest and score a long touchdown. This would be a more quiet day for the offenses. Chuck Johnson did have his only interception of the preseason late in this game. There weren't a lot of highlights to talk about. This would ultimately come down to preseason week number 3, where both quarterbacks would play with the starters. Lawrence should have been picked off there, but he was not going to get away with a mistake twice on this possession. A bad INT to Antoine Winfield Jr. So we turn it over to Chuck Johnson then, continuing to buy time but still look to pass as he hooks up with Eli Arrington. Later inside the 10, he dumps it to the star receiver entering year 3, and Arrington scores a touchdown. Chuck Johnson again later, throwing across the middle to Luke McCaffrey. They hook up for a first down and back in the red zone. This could have been a score to Arrington had he turned around for it. Lawrence returns later, Good throw to the outside. I'm not going to say Lawrence didn't have good moments, but pay attention to this play. Chuck Johnson, the stiff arm on Vita Vea as he runs across the 5 and gets the first down. Chuck Johnson was full of excitement, while Trevor Lawrence had far more shaky moments and seemed to struggle with the downfield passing game. I don't think he throws with touch as well as Johnson, at least in these games. With Johnson in the preseason, we saw a quarterback that was aggressive and very effective, throwing through tight windows, giving his receivers a chance to make plays. They aren't always made, but the process was there. And I came away so impressed with what I saw. Now, a screen pass isn't really going to be major credit for him, but a great job by Dontrell Maynard breaking the tackle and getting in on this play. And that would bring us to the end of preseason. A preseason where Chuck Johnson dominated the conversation and helped a couple players make the team. In this case, I'd say the stats do tell the story of the preseason, and Chuck Johnson outplayed Trevor Lawrence by a wide margin, even just isolating the play they had with the starters only. And you know what? We have missed the playoffs twice in this series. This has been an underperforming franchise with Trevor Lawrence, and I've been looking for a possible alternative. I didn't like the way the offseason set up for us to replace Lawrence, but for Chuck Johnson to play this well in the preseason, why not give him the opportunity? We're doing some things differently this year. He seems to be doing those things really well, throwing downfield, helping us make big plays, and give our receivers a chance. I'm not saying this is permanent and he'll start the entire year, but I think starting the season with Chuck Johnson is a move that we need to make here. Let's see if he is indeed an option for the future of this team or not. What does this team have to lose? I have to say, too, I really enjoyed streaming the preseason. I haven't done this in such a long time. I used to do a little bit of streaming to complement the series, and if you're not somebody that likes to watch live streams, don't think the series is going to be transformed in any way, but I like the idea of using streams to add on to the series and maybe stream some games that would otherwise be simulated. But if you would like to watch that stream and see how all of this came about, it was a really fun live stream. I will have it linked down below in the description. Live streams are not going to be official episodes, but they will be a part of the playlist and optional if you want to watch them. If anything big happens in streams, they will be a part of episodes like you saw in the first minutes of today's episode. I won't be doing this all the time, but I'm going to pick my spots, and I'm glad that I picked the preseason in this case. Let's go through some more numbers and build out this final roster, as Chuck Johnson was also our leading rusher. Travis Etienne, 71 yards. Rookie CJ Merriweather. I came away pretty disappointed. Didn't really see him create yardage. Wasn't doing well running between the tackles. I think he loses out to Dontrell Maynard, who at least had that screen pass touchdown and broke a nice tackle on the play too. Wide receiver Heath Tuck was a roster bubble player I added at 72 overall entering year 3. And he is going to not only make the team, but get a real receiver number as well. Congratulations on number 19, Heath Tuck. Brian Thomas and Eli Arrington both had their moments. Thomas averaging 26 yards a reception. And I want to see the big plays return to this offense. When you have Brian Thomas Jr. and Eli Arrington, we need to be putting up much better production than we have. We don't have to attack downfield all the time, and I think I've added plays that give us options for stretching the field or at least allowing those routes to open up space underneath, and we'll see how it plays out for this offense. But I don't like the way things have gone leading to this point. I don't think we've gotten the most out of our receivers. Now, due to feedback, I did end up moving Joe Wilder to tight end, and he really stood out in the preseason, making a couple great plays. At tight end, I also have the option of listing him at wide receiver. I'm planning on him being a hybrid player, and he will, of course, be making the roster. Luke McCaffrey probably makes it as well, as we are going to miss Trey Tucker to start the season. He got hurt very early in the preseason, so he's going to miss some time. Leading us in tackles is the first pick of the third round, Devon Lewis. 19 tackles, 2 for a loss, had a couple deflections as well. He will probably get playing time immediately. Sergio Baxter did have an INT. I believe that was a simulated play though. He will start at strong safety. And I'm hoping we can have some more players stand out this year on the defense. I'm excited to see this pass rush that gets a boost with the rookie Martin Cooper. And then Charles Omenihu had a really good preseason. So our edge situation is very strong right now. Jeremiah Sheffield has made the roster in the past. He will not this season. He goes to the practice squad. We will release Miles Cole. For the 5th cornerback spot, we are going to have rookie Dennis Gregory make it over DeAndre Prince. Gregory actually had a pick 6 in the preseason on a pretty bad pass against Dallas. He's our 5th corner. And then DeAndre Rowe. I was excited to draft him, but he ended up being our lowest rated draft pick. He will go to the practice squad as we get down to 53. And these are the moves that get us there. It's time to have Nate Bell no longer making a fool of himself in these interviews, not giving answers and just having morale drop as a result, so we face this quarterback position battle head on. Wait, what? Based on what you said, Lawrence won the battle. No, Johnson won it. His stats were significantly better. Everybody knows that. What? I'm just gonna say Lawrence won the battle just to satisfy, morale, I guess. That shouldn't have played out that way, man. Why make the storyline if it's not going to work? I mean, Chuck Johnson was better in every category. Remember, I said it would be passer rating. But guess what? If it were yards, Johnson wins. If it were touchdowns, Johnson wins. 134 passer rating. How do you end up saying Lawrence was better? Doesn't matter. Chuck Johnson's still starting the year. I want to work with the storylines at times. I think there are chances for it to play out and be kind of neat and add some character to the series. But that really stinks that it just, didn't work. I should be getting a boost right now to Chuck Johnson. We're going to the practice sideline. Who are we talking to? We always have some interesting moments here on the practice field. Oh, I thought I was talking to a player. Explosive passing plays. That's what we want to see a lot more of this season. I'm going to say 8 yards per pass attempt. I think that's a really obtainable benchmark. And we're at least going to open the year seeing what Chuck Johnson can do as the quarterback. And if it doesn't work out, we can always go back to Lawrence. This has been a mid-tier team with Lawrence. I'm not afraid of what could happen if Chuck Johnson fails. I'm really not. I mean, he was arguably the preseason MVP. We need our cornerbacks to be more consistent. That's always Nate Bell's focus as a cornerback himself. So I don't know if we can do either of these goals. But I'll pick the 3,500 passing yards. That's just over 200 per game. It's tough. But ultimately, we have not made the playoffs yet in this series. That is going to be our goal this season. I don't know if Chuck Johnson can get us there, but it's time to see what he can do. And I want to see what this draft class is showing in terms of quarterback options for next year. Here is the class. We have Jimmy Wise and Craig Raymond as top 10 ranked quarterbacks. Jared Lauderdale is the number 1 player at wide receiver, and there are 4 tackles inside the top 10. There appears to be 3 quarterbacks that could be going into round 1. Nationally, this is meant to be a very strong tackle, corner, and left end class. Weak at right guard, center, and inside linebacker. This looks to be a really good receiver class, but specifically on day 2. I mean, we're used to seeing these stacked receiver classes, right? Well, there's only 1 player in the top 35, but so many between 36 and 85. Adding a complimentary receiver this year is perfect. I would like to get focused on the tackles. I've only drafted 1, and I keep signing kind of 1-year Band-Aid solutions there, so this could be a good year to end that trend. I also want to get more information on the cornerbacks. So I'm going to take advantage of some feedback here that I was reading, and I was kind of wondering about this. But to be efficient as I can with my scouts, making the 2-star scout my national scout, because I should be getting plenty of information to unlock talent grades if the floor is 60% on these players. And here's how we're going to set up the scouting for this year. Our 3-star is actually focused on the Northeast and a really good tackle class. We also have a tackle scout for the Central region. It's such a loaded class. Our national scout is focused on the cornerbacks with receiver as a secondary emphasis, receiver in the Southeast, defensive end in the West. So I'm really just targeting where these regions are strong. Defensive end, not a huge need, but it's where the West is best, really. In the Central, we are going to have at least a couple tackle options scouted there, including a top 5 option. The Northeast, though, is stacked. There are 5 tackles that could go in the first couple rounds in that spot. And then Southeast, I'm pretty sure every season you could look at wide receivers. You got plenty of choices throughout. Well, we're not going to have Devin Lloyd in week 1, it looks like. Down a key player in a division battle. And here's how we look to kick off Season 3 of the Jaguars franchise. It's still a young, developing offensive line with standout playmakers across this offense. What can we do this year with Etienne, Eli Arrington, Brian Thomas, and Curtis Easley? And will Chuck Johnson truly start the rest of the year? Can he hold on to the starting spot? Defensively, I like our pass rush situation. I'm hoping we can still get Martin Cooper a fair amount of playing time, and Trayvon Walker will be playing a lot as a defensive tackle. Here in week 1, we're without Devin Lloyd, who apparently lost his superstar development, unfortunately, and Andre Cisco lost his as well. One thing to keep an eye on, though, is how strong our linebacking core is with the heavy regression we saw from Foyesade Oluokun going into the offseason. He lost 30 points of ratings. He lost 2 levels of development. So he's maybe more of an average player at this stage. And if we want Trayvon Walker to play more and more defensive tackle, let's put him in a position to play the run there well, which shouldn't be an issue because he is a freak. We should be getting Devin Lloyd and Trey Tucker back after week 1. But let's open year 3. First player you think of when you see this uniform. For me, David Garrard. We're not wearing those today, but we will eventually. And by the way, I don't think I've seen these uniforms in a while because the first player I think of is Nataki Mason. Now let's get this season underway. There is some excitement entering this year. Let me know what you're thinking of the series down below in the comment section. Please leave a like on the video. It's very helpful to the series and the channel. I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe if you haven't already for more franchise action. I feel like we're getting to a fun point in this series. And it's up to Chuck Johnson to take the ball and run with it now. Offense up first for Jacksonville. We are underway, and who knows what this season will bring our way. It's taken across the 20 by Dontrell Maynard to the 24-yard line. And there is Chuck Johnson, his first week 1 start. He started in week 18 against Philadelphia and really looked overwhelmed in that game against the best team in the NFC. But I want to believe in what I saw during the preseason and play the hot hand. We open, play action, Johnson, it's incomplete for Arrington, couldn't hold on to it. If you're going to ask for a new quarterback, you better catch the ball. 2nd and 10, Jacksonville. The man in motion is Luke McCaffrey, who was on our practice squad last year, and the pass is brought in by Curtis Easley. Showing no fear, passing out of the gate, and now Travis Etienne gets our first down. I'm excited to see this new playbook in action as well. Some really fun plays in there. Pass up the seam. Running away is Brian Thomas. And the first big play of the year goes to BTJ. A 61-yard touchdown. In the preseason, he was the one getting downfield more than Arrington. And he just beat a really good corner in Kamari Lassiter for the touchdown. Now it's our defense's turn, missing a very important player in Devin Lloyd. Robert Spillane is going to play the second sub linebacker spot now. And Devon Lewis, our rookie, is going to start when we're in our base defense. So when you see number 52, that is him. Quick throw to Nico Collins gets the first down. 2 catches on 2 plays. We split against the Texans a year ago, who went on to win the AFC South with a 9-8 record. 3rd and 5, pressure on. Stroud throws it away. We get off the field. And following a 4-play touchdown drive to open the year, how does Chuck Johnson follow it up? Texans blitz. Off the mark. Had a receiver open. And he certainly has a lot of developing to do. His accuracies are that of a backup quarterback. But I think that the way he attacked defenses looked more like a starter in the preseason. The willingness to be aggressive. And the ball placement on those aggressive plays. I think his arm is strong enough. Now that drive doesn't go anywhere. 3 and out. Overthrow. Sack. Not a great sequence. CJ Stroud. He lofts it out there, and Nico Collins has 4 catches already. 3rd and 4 for Stroud. And in the middle, it is broken up by Aluakin. We'll see if Johnson can get Arrington a look on this possession. Heavy pressure coming. The answer is easily 2 yards. Arrington, he's down here. Slot left on 3rd down and 8. Heavy pressure coming. Johnson's out of there. Loves to scramble. And has the first down. Still going. All the way into Texan territory. A 30-yard scramble. Now, Lawrence scrambles a fair bit as well. But Johnson, I think he does it a little bit more often, and he was our leading rusher in the preseason for a reason. Here's a wrinkle in the backfield here. This is Eli Arrington now. He receives the handoff, and he can't get through the outside. I have a couple formations where he will get snaps in the backfield. A full yard to go. Tossed right, ETN, got it! And tackled at the 33. Handoff, Arrington again, but good tackle by Jalen Petrie. Go ahead, demand more rush attempts, Eli. I'm prepared this season. 2nd down in motion. That is Luke McCaffrey. He cuts it upfield. He kind of transformed into his brother there, playing running back on that pass. It is Johnson! He caught it! Touchdown, Jags! Did he really get both feet down? Chuck Johnson fires a dart. Oh, you can't throw it better. Tell me, is that the kind of throw a backup quarterback makes or a starter? They're going to review it, but I think that's going to stand. And it does. 2 for Brian Thomas in the first quarter. What a start to the season here in year 3. By the way, experimenting with the field goal accuracy slider, it was on 45 for the first couple years. Now we're down to 40. Looking for a little more realistic kicking drama. We move ahead into the second quarter with Houston driving at our 26. Stroud fakes, tries to extend, and Trayvon Walker forces a throwaway. Uh-oh, Jonathan Moore, he's shaken up. And he's someone who left games quite often last year, dealt with some injuries. Stroud on 3rd and 11. Steps up. Now he's going to scramble, get the first down, and slides at the 8. Stroud hands off, trying to sweep outside. Great tackle at the 6 by Spillane. The run game has not worked at all for Houston. They're averaging less than a yard per carry right now with their young running back, Brandon Sylvester. 3rd and goal. Time for Stroud. Taken off and tackled inside the 1. Decision time. Cowardly decision down 14. They will kick. And it's 14-3. Johnson to Luke McCaffrey, 25 yards. That is a real question, too. Like, how well is Johnson going to sim? Well, he simmed well in preseason. He played well in preseason when we watched. You want more? Here's more. A minute to go in the first half. He sets up a screen. And Etienne falls ahead for 2. Johnson across the middle, and this one doesn't go so well. It's intercepted. He's trying to hit 3 to Brian Thomas in the first half, and it's intercepted by Sidney Brown. We have to expect mistakes and some growing pains, but it's a really good play by Sidney Brown first off. Houston driving again. We're midway through the third as they fake it to Tank Dell. Try to open up this running game, and Sylvester breaks the tackle, and it's a great run. Maybe the only good one they've had. Inside give, and a nice play again by Sylvester. Pressure coming. Stroud gets it off, and it's complete. Tank Dell. Stroud, open man, inside the 10. Stroud on first down, fits it in there, and the receiver can't hold on. Sylvester wrapped up. That's Devon Lewis for a loss. Uh-oh. Tyson Campbell having to come off the field now. And I think this 30 injury has actually been pretty balanced. Makes the injuries a part of the experience, but we don't see guys leaving like every 2 minutes. 3rd and goal for Stroud now, down a DB, and they got a touchdown right at the doorstep of the end zone. Tight end Clint White. I like his helmet. 14-11 as Houston also gets the 2-point try. A close game in a series that's featured a ton of them already. Etienne gets through and has a first down. Might experiment a bit more with the auto subs for a little running back rotation when it makes sense. David Montgomery is the backup this year, remember. We haven't really seen him yet. That was a false start on Trayvon Briscoe, the right guard. Knocking back Jacksonville a bit as Arrington again gets the handoff but goes nowhere. Really quiet day for Arrington, surprisingly. Play action. Got to get the ball out. He does. And that's going to get nothing. McCaffrey is wide right. Pressure on the way. Johnson can't outrun Will Anderson. Stroud fakes on first down. Hesitates and goes down. Josh Hines Allen. No Tyson Campbell on the field still. It's 3rd down and 11. Stroud pressured by Walker. Gets it away. And getting away from a defender. They got it. Sylvester. Stroud fakes. Has time. Goes down. And Stroud is sacked by Jonathan Moore. Play fake. Pressured again. Oh my, almost picked by Walker. The rookie Martin Cooper, he's right here as Stroud on 3rd and 13 goes down. Cooper, first sack in his first career game, right after I circled him too. Very promising showing by our defense to this point. Now, we had an impressive start to this game, but no one's going to be impressed with 14 points. So if we can get points on this drive, and then give ourselves a chance to win this game, I'll be impressed. Johnson hands. Travis Etienne with a flag down. That's how we start the drive, losing 10 yards. It's Arrington. Gets the flip. Cuts upfield, but a good tackle. The give goes to Travis Etienne. And he gets 11. Now you've got some options on this play. Arrington in the middle of a bunch. Man coverage, underneath and incomplete for Brian Thomas. This is a really good secondary, keep in mind. So, scoring 26 plus wasn't really the expectation. They have 2 of the best corners, one of the best duos that we're going to see. And back and forth we go, 5 and change to play. Stroud and Houston, 4 minutes left to go in the game. Picking up the pressure. That pass is hauled in by Collins. Haven't seen him in a while. Stroud again. Quick, and Aluakin all over it. A full 2 yards to go on third down. A fullback is in. Play action. Stroud. It's caught. Nico Collins. First down. Stroud to the air. Hits Collins. From this spot, it's a 57-yard field goal. 3rd and 6, Houston. Big play. We send 5. Stroud deep. Knocked away. And incomplete. Jerrion Jones, the 4th cornerback, who's made some plays for us before. And here they're not going to try the field goal. They're going to go for it. I love this aggressiveness. Here we go. Biggest play of the day. Stroud needs 6. Buys time. He's sacked. Way back. Mason Smith gets it back for the offense. Can you win the game now? They should not touch the football again. Hand off to Arrington. Loss of 1. They're even using timeouts on the front side of the 2-minute warning. Wow, this is not the worst game management. I like the go for it. It wasn't executed well. Arrington broke a tackle. Now, I didn't just fill the playbook with these plays. They're there. But Arrington gets a good gain. Now third down with a fresh ETN deep in the backfield. Travis inside. He's stuffed. And they're going to get the football back. What's our decision now? On 4th and 3, the offense is on. You convert here and the game is over, essentially. 3 yards to victory. Johnson to throw. Caught by Thomas. And that should do it here in week 1. The Chuck Johnson and Brian Thomas connection has just won us the ball game. 2 early touchdowns. And then the game winner on 4th and 3. And in week 1, Chuck Johnson helps us to victory. This is the part I don't like, though. Why can't you just call 3 kneel downs? You knew to call the first one. Why do they do this on 2nd down? You have to risk an unnecessary fumble. And then they're going to kneel it down on 3rd down because that's the sequence they do. Why? Oh, we're going to try a field goal here, I think. They'll get this snap off. We'll try it. 47 yards. It is good as the Jaguars win 17-11 here in the season opener. We had some early game fireworks and then the offense disappeared. So good thing we got those touchdowns early. Johnson only threw 18 passes in this game, so focus less on the amount of passing yards. The completion percentage is good. 2 touchdowns is good. 8.3 per attempt is where you want to be. The interception wasn't a good play. That was his low light. We ran the football fairly well with Travis Etienne. Eli Arrington had 5 carries, but receiving, this was Brian Thomas Jr.'s day. 3 grabs, 92 yards, 2 scores, and a game winner. Arrington 1 catch, 3 yards. So, Eli Arrington asked for a new quarterback and has one of his least productive games of the series. And I'm very happy with the play of our defense. The front 4 did a good job taking this game over. And we were missing Devin Lloyd, missing Tyson Campbell for much of the game. I'm curious what that Campbell injury is. Doesn't seem to be one that's going to carry on, though. He's not on the injury report. What does the media have to say after this week 1 win? How do you feel about the results in your season opener? Very happy with how the players battled. Who deserves the most credit? I'm going to say the defense. They held the division champs last year to 11 points while missing a couple players. Which players got the game ball? I've never been asked this. But the pass rush to me is who you have to go with. Our defensive ends. I'm sure your players will have a reaction to you saying that. They appreciate your words and will receive a boost of block shed and power moves next week. New Orleans, watch out. Let's upgrade Devon Lewis, and I'm going to focus on the pass coverage this time to try to get him prepared to eventually be a starter one day. A 3-down starter. He's already kind of a 3rd starter, but not all teams play 3 linebackers a ton. Bonus action here in the first episode of Year 3. We are getting into Week 2 against New Orleans. Now, I want to move faster through the start of this year. Not that the series has been slow in any way, but I don't think we'll watch as many games early because we play 3 games against the NFC South in our first 5 weeks. And those out-of-conference games are not as important. And we've also seen our second halves of the seasons not do well, so I'd like to focus more on that portion of the schedule. Wow, Chuck Johnson to Brian Thomas. That is the connection so far that's fueling this offense. The game opens with 3 consecutive field goal tries. New Orleans throws a pick to Devin Lloyd. There's a big gain, and again, Brian Thomas Jr. Can't find the end zone, though. We keep kicking. You kick enough field goals, eventually your opponent will make you pay for it. Saints take the lead. How about Chuck Johnson before halftime, man? Marches us right down the field, and he hits the touchdown to Eli Arrington. We're into the second half now, up 6. Right around midfield on 2nd down and 7. Johnson gives, and Etienne picks up the first. All right, what's this? I have a split backfield. I don't run many of these anymore. It's an inside give, though, and David Montgomery makes an appearance for no gain. 3rd down, pressure sent at Johnson. Got it! He did not get his feet down, though, Curtis Easley. Now, the Saints quarterback in this franchise is Max Friedman. I want to say he was Rookie of the Year, possibly. I know that they drafted him, and I think he's playing pretty well overall to start his career. Doesn't have a superstar or X factor, but New Orleans is 1-0. They have it at our 34-yard line. Rachaad White's the running back, and Josh Hines-Allen records the sack. They have us pinned here in the danger zone. How do we get out of here? 3 tight ends on the field, including Joe Wilder. A fumble at the goal line. That better have been down, or it's a Saints touchdown. All right, it's going to be reviewed. So, try it again. Etienne gets through and has a first down. Big. I want to see a big pass to Eli Arrington. He's looked good in this series, but we haven't seen like the downfield throws as much as Johnson gets taken down. Uh-oh. Briscoe immediately having to limp off the field here. So he should be replaced by LaDainian Bigby. I drafted him in the mid-rounds to be maybe a starting center, but he's actually a 74 overall guard. Johnson unloads over the head of Brian Thomas. Nearly had him. And that is probably going to be a multi-week injury for Briscoe if it's a dislocated knee. We're in the 4th. Jaguars up 6 with possession. David Montgomery has been handling some carries. Johnson faces immediate pressure and is thrown down. A couple of these plays, he hasn't even had a chance. 2nd down and 16 with Arrington, the motion man. Give him some time. Downfield and caught. What a pass to Curtis Easley. Johnson to the air again. Easley's wide open and picks up the first down. Johnson hits 200 yards. Can the Jaguars now go up 2 possessions and run a couple more minutes off the clock at least? Plenty of time. Arrington hauls it in and gains 5. I'm worried, though, about Etienne and Briscoe. Montgomery checks in, and he is up to the 29. Only a 3-man front for New Orleans. Will throw, though, on 3rd and 2. It's caught! Brian Thomas. Motion from Curtis Easley. Johnson into coverage. That was a risky ball to Arrington. Got to take care of the football down here when a field goal can give you a 2-score lead. Pass is caught. That's Trey Tucker. Haven't seen too much of him. Chuck Johnson here needs to protect the football on 3rd down. He's out of there, scrambling, and he has his eyes on the end zone, but he can't get there. It is 1st and goal, however. And David Montgomery is deep in the backfield. Can we punch this in with this young line? Montgomery! Touchdown! And the Jaguars take a 2-possession lead. And now we just have to protect. 5 minutes to go in the game. Saints down 2 scores. Protection holds up, and the pass is complete across the 45. Friedman on second down. Again, dumps it, and escaping is Rashad White for a nice catch and run. He's not Alvin Kamara, but he did the job on that play. First down, Friedman throws it right to Devin Lloyd. And that's his second pick of the game. And it could seal this one. Look at the power from David Montgomery. He's still got some gas in the tank. And that's good news because I don't know what the status of ETN is right now. Montgomery's basically played the entire fourth quarter. And it's a more convincing victory for Jacksonville in week 2 as they do not turn the football over. Intercept Max Friedman twice. And we win the game 22-10. Our defense has only allowed 21 points in the first 2 games of the season. And Chuck Johnson has played this starting quarterback role very well. 1 touchdown in this game. He throws for 222 yards, 7.1 yards per attempt. Montgomery carried 10 times, so did ETN. We'll check on that. Our leading receiver this week is again Brian Thomas Jr. Arrington did have 4 catches, but still wasn't a big part of the offense here with Chuck Johnson. Lloyd picks up 2 interceptions. Welcome back. Josh Hines-Allen, a sack and a half. Yeah, we have some injuries coming out of this game. Travis Etienne suffered an upper arm fracture. He will miss 2 weeks. Trayvon Briscoe will miss 3 with his dislocated knee. So the offense is going to be a little shorthanded, which will put even more pressure on Chuck Johnson, especially in this next game as we will face a potent Colts offense that is an 89 overall on paper. We have seen the ascension in this series of Anthony Richardson. We've seen them draft Richie Kidd, who's become an immediate X factor at tight end. Well, in the most recent draft, they added to the core with wide receiver Jazz Macklin, who has hidden development. We'll see what it turns into, but he was like a 77 or 78 immediately. So this is a loaded offense that is probably going to score more than we've seen our opponents score in the first 2 games. Next episode, we'll probably watch part of that game. Not too much of it because it's week 3. But then we'll get through the Panthers and Falcons games probably very quickly. And then this is the trade deadline area. We'll see where we are once we get there. And if Chuck Johnson is still our quarterback and how we approach the second half of the year. But so far, I don't really have any concerns about Johnson. He's made really good plays, and he's only had really 1 mistake. So he earned the starting job, and so far he is showing that that was the right decision. However, could an offense missing some core players expose some of his faults? Eventually, you have to get the ball to Eli Arrington. And hopefully we can do that next episode. But to make this change and start the season in this kind of a fashion is very exciting. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, everybody. Again, if you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're getting to a really fun point, I feel, with this team, and there is still much more on the way. I'll see you next time with more Jags franchise, everybody. Take care.